of August here. Jordan, would you start us off with a roll call, please?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Faubourg.
Present.
Liebelt.
Present.
Ward.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Econger.
Present.
Nilsson.
Present.
Nordstrup.
Present.
Mayor Shoneman.
Present, please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business tonight, as is always the case, is to approve this week's meeting agenda, which has been printed last week. I'd take a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Econger, second Nilsson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, approval of the minutes from our last week's meeting, which took place on July 28th. I'd take a motion to approve those minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Liebelt, second Ward. Anyone have anything on those minutes before we take a vote? So all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Consent calendar. Handful of items here today. We had talked a little bit about that reserve water for future use issue. That's a big pressing one. It looks like everything ought to go out as anticipated with that, Robin?
Yes.
Good. Good to hear on that. I take a motion to approve our consent calendar items for the evening.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion Ward, second Econger. Anyone have anything to discuss on any of these particular items? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Single item of old business tonight is the second reading of an ordinance which is titled 250704. It supplements Parks and Rec activities budgetarily. Jordan, anything occur on that since last week's meeting?
Thank you, Mayor. No changes. Staff recommends approval.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion Ward, second Councilman Johnson. Anyone have anything before we take a vote? Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on that final adoption?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Faubourg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Nordstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Moving along to our new business, we've got a visitor that was rained out last time. Aberdeen Area Convention and Visitors Bureau Vacation Traffic and Marketing Update. Casey Wiseman, it's always good to see you. It's been about a quarter, so it's high time we get to the bottom of our marketing update.
Let's see, there we go. Good evening. Thank you for having me. Welcome to the new city council members. Casey Wiseman, the executive director of the Aberdeen Convention and Visitors Bureau. Just here to give you guys an update, guys and gals, an update on our vacation marketing January through June, the numbers that have been coming in and the traffic we've been seeing in Aberdeen. We're pretty excited from what's been happening and just wanted to come and share that with you. So I did give you guys a handout in front of you, and then this information is also loaded to the webpage that we have for City Council resources. What is the CVB? Our mission, our goal is to increase visitor activity with the emphasis of an overnight stay, dedicated to increasing the BBB or promotional tax. Our mission, vision, and goal. Our mission is to enhance the well-being of the Aberdeen region. Our vision is a robust and engaged community that welcomes visitors, gives a positive experience, and that benefits the region for economic growth. Some goals that we have are to expand our visitor marketing, social media, collaborate with travel influencers, and increase display digital marketing. And all of these goals do carry a price, unfortunately. Looking at our website statistics, thank you. For January through June, our target market is 100 miles and further. So almost all of our advertising starts at that 100-mile radius, and then we push that as far as we can. Whether it's vacation traffic, whether it's regional, statewide, those vacation travelers coming to Aberdeen, attending attractions and events that we're hosting, or as I'll talk later on in the fall, our hunting marketing starts again at that 100-mile radius, and we try to push that as far as we can nationwide. But our target, our landing, our inside radius is that 100-mile radius outside of Aberdeen. That's where we like to see our target marketing starting. And with that, we had website traffic of 47,000 users. This is again, January through June, 47,000 users. 46,000 of those were new, viewing 189,000 pages, garnering almost 60,000 sessions, or four pages per session. So as you can see at the bottom of the page, the website planning, is people are finding our website, they're looking for things to do, they're exploring things to do on how can they bring their family vacation to Aberdeen. The top pages being the home page, Aberdeen area events, play, request a vacation guide, and then play, Storybook Land, all reflect on behalf of the city's strong attractions and offerings. Tracking our visitors, how do we track what we call a visitor to Aberdeen? Anytime a hotel room is rented in Aberdeen, a visitor will pay a $2 fee, an occupancy fee. Those $2 fees are collected. They're submitted on behalf of all the hotels in Aberdeen back to the city of Aberdeen. The city, again, thanks to Jordan's help, tabulates that information, sends it back to the Hotel Alliance, and they utilize that $2 fee for marketing the city, promoting the city, and especially funding events that happen inside the Aberdeen area. And a lot of these events that do approach the Hotel Alliance are events that probably do not come and ask for promotional funds as well. So of that $2 fee, I really wanted to highlight January, March, and May. All three of those months were a 10-year high. So the traffic in January, March, and May, we haven't seen traffic like that in the last 10 years. And actually, it would probably be a little farther, but my graph only goes 10 years. But I actually have it back quite a ways. But for the sake of argument, we're pushing a 10-year high. April, according to the STAR report in South Dakota Tourism, year-over-year occupancy in April was the highest in the state. Of anywhere in the state, Aberdeen was the highest year-over-year for occupancy in the month of April. And April wasn't even one of our 10-year highs. So as other regions are probably struggling, we are maintaining or growing that visitor traffic. So that's good to see. And then we do have access to Placer AI, and Placer garnered 138,000 visitors outside of a 100-mile radius that came to Aberdeen during that January through June timeframe as well. Taxable receipts, SIC codes, standard industrial classification. We monitor eating, drinking, and lodging, and that's your promotional fund or your BBB tax. Eating was up 35%, again, January through June, up 35%. Drinking was down 12%. You ask, why is it down? There's this movement that is gradually losing ground, but it was called Sober Curious. For the whole year of 2024, drinking was down significantly for taxable receipts. But I think people are giving up on that idea. I don't know, but they're enjoying themselves. But drinking is still down slightly. And then lodging is up 21%. So if we combine eating, drinking, and lodging, year to date, we're pushing above 8%. So that's good to see. And those are taxable receipts that the city of Aberdeen reports to the state of South Dakota. So that's money that's fluctuating in the community, floating around in the community. The occupancy tax or visitors, this is money that's being spent in the community. Our social media, our Facebook followers are roughly about 18,000. Actually, there was a typo on the online one, but it has been corrected on your sheets. Garnering 1,814,000 impressions. And then Instagram, we have just over 2,300 followers there, garnering almost 39,000 impressions. So the platform still of choice is Facebook. And again, social media, for the most part, is free. We do run some paid social advertising, but really it's the creative investment that the CVB and our partners put together. Our partners put together and help promote. But all we ask on our end is our community partners help us share those posts. Because if you can help share that post, it's like a spider web. It just reaches so many more people. And then the information that goes with that, garnering 1,814,000 impressions, 8,500 reactions, 751 comments, and 1,500 shares. We'd really, really, really like to see those shares increase. And then on Instagram, same thing there. Almost 39,000 views, 465 reactions. Again, those reactions are the likes as well. Our focus, we propose to evaluate our visitor marketing, social media presence, strategically collaborating with our top travel influencers. We'd like to expand our display and digital advertising, amplify our visibility with the attraction of visitors. These target initiatives do require an investment on behalf of ourselves and our community partners. We would like to increase the focus on Aberdeen as a destination for vacation travel in the state, regional, and nationwide level. This would be achieved through increased digital, display, print, radio, organic, and search marketing for vacation travel as well. The return on investment. I know I've said this before. You guys have probably heard me say this. Every dollar that comes into the community can multiply anywhere from 3 to 7 times before that dollar is finally used up. And when we're marketing to those vacation travelers or those hunters, and it just really our focus is bringing that outside dollar into that community with the emphasis of an overnight stay, but that outside dollar coming into the community, that dollar can rotate 3 to 7 times before it's finally used up. Nothing's left. How does that happen? A guest might come to the hotel. That hotelier might pay that staff person. That staff person cleans the room. They go out and buy groceries. Their little son or Susie is playing sports. And you can see how that trickles down the community, the benefit of the community as a whole. So that outside dollar coming into the community is very, very valuable to the vitality of Aberdeen. We like to track that economic growth with the ability of Placer AI, tracking the demographics and where people come from and their path and how they got here. And their cross-pollination, where did they visit before they went to the event? Where did they visit after the event? We're able to track all of that information. It's good for sponsorships. It's good for just really community partnership. But with that and having the ability to track that economic impact, we can see the value of that outside dollar when it comes into the community. Meetings and conventions. We have an active database of just over 750 leads and contacts that we work on a monthly basis. This could be as many as 5 in 1 month or as many as 40 in 1 month. All of these leads, we call them leads, but all of these leads that we work on a monthly basis, we offer the services on behalf of the CVB. All of these services are free of charge. I can't stress that enough. Whether it's visitor bags that for a meeting or a convention or a family reunion, if it's somebody looking for special hotel rates or a room block, or if it's name tags, a special name tag printed, group tours for conventions and tour operators, assistance in planning. We sometimes are the clearinghouse for how does this get done? Often or not, our phone rings first, and we work it out from there. And then promoting events and attractions and destinations on behalf of our website and social media. And again, I wanted to emphasize, and I put a rack card in front of you all, AberdeenAreaEvents.com. The CVB is the host of the Aberdeen Area Events Community Calendar. My tagline is free to submit, free to promote. But events submitted to that calendar are picked up by the newspapers, our radio partners, our social media partners, whether it's the Aberdeen Insider, Dakota Broadcasting, Hub City Radio, the Chamber, the Downtown Association, but we also push those events to our regional tourism director with Glacial Lakes and Prairie Tourism, which is the northeast part of South Dakota, and then South Dakota Tourism on a whole. So I really can't stress enough, all it takes is somebody to type their information into that AberdeenAreaEvents.com. We get a notification on our end. We hit promote, and it's off. And it's off and running from there. So we really like to see those events. Right now, we're searching out for the balance of 2025 and already looking forward to 2026. So AberdeenAreaEvents.com, free to submit, free to promote. Conclusion, in summary, the Convention and Visitors Bureau has laid out a bold and forward-thinking vision to boost tourism, strengthening the local economy and elevate Aberdeen's profile as a premier destination. Through a strategic mix of expanded digital outreach, target advertising, collaborative partnerships, and with influencers and event planners, we are positioned to attract more visitors, increase overnight stays, and grow Aberdeen's promotional fund. These efforts are not just a marketing tactic, they are the investments in our community's future. With your support, with continued support, we will amplify our impact, foster regional pride, and ensure Aberdeen remains a vibrant and welcoming place for all to visit. So I know I did go into a little bit depth. I wanted to do that for the new council members, so I apologize, and thank everybody else for riding this out with me. But with that, I would like to open it up to questions and comments. Some of the things that we have in the office when I talk about requests for information, year to date, we've spent almost $7,000 just in postage alone, mailing out visitor bags and visitor packets. Looking at the year to date, when it comes to the occupancy, we've already captured 49% of our occupancy fee, and that's only through January through May. So last year we had roughly $327,000 in our occupancy fee, and right now we're sitting at $131,000. So you can see the visitors are coming. You can see, according to the SIC codes, they're spending money, and we love to see that, because if it benefits Aberdeen as a whole, it benefits our regional partners and everybody included. So if anybody has any questions, I'd love to try to answer them.
Well, Casey, you had mentioned 138,000 visitors from 100-mile plus range from the Placer AI app that we've been investing in. We don't have data from previous years on that. This is kind of a first-time information.
Yeah, I can go back, I think, to like 2019 or farther. I just presented January through June, but next time I would love to give you comparisons, higher lows, ups or downs. But yeah, I would love to provide
it sounds
that
like a big
information.
number, but without the context of previous years. And so all those months, January, March, May, where we've got 10-year highs, do you think that it's a culmination of event traffic that's coming, or just
I would
people
say
doing business here? Or?
I would say it's a combination of Applied Digital with the events that Aberdeen is hosting. And when I say that, events are held on the weekends. Everybody knows that, except for your night out, which is tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Just a shameless plug. There you go. But for the most part, all events are always held on the weekend. We all know that. And even conventions are kind of pushing that way, because businesses want people to travel on their own time and their own dime. So we're really seeing that lack of Monday through Thursday visitors. But with Applied Digital up in Allendale bringing down their workforce, it's really given us a solid base. Is it something that is a freebie? By no means, no. I still look at these guests as visitors, because they're still spending money in the community. They're still searching our events that we're hosting in Aberdeen. But it does, it sure is nice to hang your hat on a positive number. And nobody else in the state is seeing numbers like we are. So I will say thank you to Applied Digital and
we will take it.
and them as well. But yeah, that does provide a base. Yes.
Sounds good. Anyone from the council have any other questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, sir.
I was just wondering since I'm kind of new to this, occupancy, I assume that's a ratio between available rooms and used?
The occupancy fee, is that what you're asking?
No, you were talking about, I thought you referenced that as a measurement that we were seeing higher occupancy.
We actually gauge, or we track the $2 fee, the occupancy fee that is tagged on every room that's rented. So that's only rooms that somebody rents for an overnight stay. And then we track that $2 fee year after year to see those highs and lows of visitor traffic. But right now, year to date, we're tracking at about 131,000 compared to 327,000 last year. So we've already captured 59%, and that's only January through May.
Okay, but when we're talking that number, we're
it's
talking
compared to previous years'
comparing
occupancy.
Yes.
How many rooms rented this year versus last year versus the year
okay.
before?
Yep. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I was just trying. I think you referenced some of the other towns, and I was just wondering how.
Yep. And with
how
that,
we're comparing that apples to apples.
yeah. With that being said, in Aberdeen alone, January, March, and May were the highest months we've seen in over 10 years. I know it probably goes back to 11 or 12 actually, but April was really something kind of special, because I actually got a text message from Calvin Blumendahl, our rep for South Dakota Tourism, and he said, "Hey, congrats, April for the month. You guys were according to the STAR report. It's the Smith Travel Research Report." According to the STAR report, South Dakota Tourism, Aberdeen was the highest occupancy year over year, so April of this year over April last year, than anywhere else in the state of South Dakota. and I've never received that text message before. So that's pretty cool.
Your man.
Well, thank you.
Councilman Johnson?
Thank you, Mayor. Casey, great report. A lot of cheerful numbers here on pages 4 and 5. Love seeing that. What's the current count of hotel rooms available?
824.
824.
Yep.
And so when we're looking at occupancy percentages, I know what the industry average is because my industry is 64% across the U.S. Do you happen to know what ours would be in average?
I don't know exactly, but I think ours are upwards of high 80s, low 90s.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Fulberg has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I do, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. How many more hotel rooms do we need?
As many as you can give me.
She has a bank.
I really don't like to ever turn anybody away, and we obviously don't like receiving phone calls in the office when people are struggling to find rooms. We have to be very creative on how we find them access. We utilize all the hotels. We call them daily just to make sure that, okay, did that person really call all 10 hotels? I'm going to prove them right or wrong, but I'm calling regardless. But we call all 10 hotels daily. We work with all the hunting lodges in and around Aberdeen community, and then we also work with our community partners, Groton, Redfield, Ipswich, Ellendale, probably not anymore. But nonetheless, we utilize all of our community partners to try to put them anywhere. But to answer your question, I would love to see one or two more.
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead.
How has there ever been any incentives used to encourage people to build hotel rooms, or how maybe Alan knows better than I, but how would a city go about encouraging one of the many hotel developers in town to develop another hotel?
That would be in your wheelhouse. I'd love to TIFs or rebates of some sort. You know, I can provide the numbers to let everybody know that the demand is there and the demand is increasing, especially with Applied Digital happening. You know, there's always room for growth in a community, and it's kind of the chicken or the egg. If you host the event garners more rooms. But you can't host the event unless you have rooms.
Mr. Mayor?
Well, one thing, so when you say that the hotel occupancy stands at 80 to 90%, you're talking about the total rooms in the town are rented at that rate for the year to date?
For the most part, yes. Yep.
Right.
Mr. Mayor, that was my question. I was wondering if you could get us real data on that by hotel, even if it can't be made public, that we could we could look at. I would really appreciate that.
Yep.
For a year, month by month.
Yep. I can
a
get
couple
that for
years maybe, because then maybe the council can look at that and.
Yep, absolutely. You know, I know we have our occupancy that we track as well, but I can look back at the STAR reports or even our occupancy the information we have. Absolutely. Yeah.
Go ahead, David.
Casey, can you talk about how creative you've been with, like, when you do have a shortfall in rooms because of events like what you did with the state softball and trap shooting? It kind of doubled up, and I think the council as a whole should kind of hear that, because I think the council and the hoteliers, they actually stepped up to the plate so we could host those two events.
Yeah, and I apologize because they probably don't see a lot of what we do, just because, like I say, our marketing is outside the city limits. But when we're hosting those events like state softball or Clay Target, that brings 1,000 shooters for Clay Target into town and 600 athletes for girls softball. All the hotels that go with that, 824 hotels. We need to put people somewhere, but we did. We worked feverishly. Myself and my contacts with NSU worked feverishly to utilize Wolves Memorial, to utilize 100 beds there to help the guests out while they were in town. And through a lot of, we struggled through it, but we got it done. And you know, with a small window of promotion, we ended up utilizing 32 beds for 47 nights. So we utilized a third of the beds that we had available and garnered 47 nights out of that.
And yeah, I just think that
it was a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, but
and I heard a little bit about it since I'm your liaison. But I think that NSU stepped up and
absolutely.
Sheets were bought by the Hotel Alliance.
Yep. Hotel Alliance
so
paid for bedding.
In.
Hotel Alliance paid for a base of 50 rooms. Whether those rooms were rented or not, the Hotel Alliance paid for 50 of the 100 beds. They bought bedding for all 100 beds, because if you advertise you're going to have 100 beds with bedding, you better have bedding. So right now we have 100 sets of twin extra long bedding in our basement, as Rich probably knows. But it was good collaboration, but it was a lot of moving parts. But I was glad we were able to host them.
And I realize that's not an opportunity every time, but it worked this time. And
yep, it did.
Now that we built that bridge,
and actually,
there's times we could potentially use it again.
And actually, Clay Target and softball will be over top of each other again in 2026. So we will again be partnering with NSU to host Overflow, we'll call it. Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Oh, go ahead, Rich.
Well, first off, just thank you, Casey. But you did let everyone know where my nap spot downstairs is, so that's unfortunate.
Twin extra long.
No, and I do want to compliment you as well. It was, I believe, about 2, maybe 3 weeks. I think you had between when you got that approved to rent them and you guys executed it. So. Within a very, very short notice, I just want to highlight that was like
we had about 10 days. We had 6 months of work and about 10 days worth of notice.
Yeah.
But we were able to utilize 32 beds, for 47 nights.
Yeah. So just wanted to compliment you guys, you and your team. It's a lot of work. I kind of like to use analogies, compare it to, it's like a wedding planner. You guys are behind the scenes. You guys are doing a lot of things, having a lot of communications with people, but never getting any of the credit. That the credit goes to other events.
I just like to get the job done. I don't need the credit. We just want to make sure everybody gets taken care of.
One more compliment, and then I know we've asked you for some reports on Placer AI, as other community people have done as well, and I just want to thank you for that. I know very timely. It's really helpful just to take a look at these datas. A lot of times it just brings up more questions and you want to dive further and further into the datas, but it's very, very helpful. So I appreciate you guys, and I want to thank the city as well for helping with that.
Placer's been very helpful. How many layers can you peel back that onion? But it is scary, the information that you can track. It's good information. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Can you tell me roughly how many folks from Ellendale are living in the Aberdeen area, and what % of those are living in hotels?
I could...
Rough idea.
Yeah, I don't even have a rough idea. I know a lot of it depends on their budget. So certain hotels are going to garner more guests than others based on just the rack rate or the cost to stay there. We actually have a meeting coming up August 12th with the Hotel Alliance, and I could try to probe them for that information. I know the Quality Inn is completely booked. All of their rooms are taken up by Applied Digital, and even to the point where we host Clay Target and softball and State B basketball. She flat out tells them, you guys got to leave for the weekend. You got to go find somewhere to live for the weekend. And then she immediately welcomes them back. But I can try to track down that information for you.
You don't know if it's 100 or 50?
It's so tough, because without asking each guest when they check in, where they're from and why they're there, which is a question people don't normally ask, I could, a rough estimate, 100, I guess, maybe shortly under that, I guess.
Sure. I think in total, because I had a meeting with Martin from Applied Digital very recently about their staffing, and he suggested it was probably several hundred in Aberdeen, not necessarily all in hotels, but just generally.
And then how many per room, too?
Right, several hundred individuals is what he was figuring, but they were going to dramatically be staffing up here in the near future, so it'll be interesting to see.
For many years, I understand.
That's,
7 to 10.
Yeah, that would be a good reason to, if something could be built, now is the time to capitalize on that.
Thank you.
For sure. So, okay. Chad?
Thanks, Casey.
Yeah.
Question, you had said with more rooms, we'd be in line or eligible maybe for more state events. Are there some that we're on the cusp of that we
don't want to talk about that, Chad.
Okay.
We just don't want to talk.
Question withdrawn. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there's more rooms brings events, more events brings a need for more rooms. Yes. Right now we're tracking the state events that we host, and we host very well. State B basketball, girls softball seem to be a staple in Aberdeen, which is really good. I don't want to lose those. And then we host a lot of swim meets and soccer meets. I mean, really, those small events equate to a state B easily. But there are some rumors somewhere. I mean, there's thresholds that a community has to meet, and right now we are meeting those thresholds. But I don't want to ever fall below those thresholds.
Well, like the senior games is an example. That was one that was kind of anticipating Aberdeen, and then it just didn't work out because of the occupancy.
Yep, senior games is a unique critter. They're very frugal on their hotel rates.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes often sleep in cars. I don't know why, but we would love to host senior games as well. It is a ton of work, but they like to spread the love around. I mean,
might be more to it than hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us here tonight, Casey. Always appreciate your insight. Oh no, we appreciate the information truly, and thank you for providing these handouts to go.
And any help you guys can give about the AberdeenAreaEvents.com, please help spread the word. We're always looking for events in and around the community.
And Casey, one more time, any requirements for those events, any minimums or?
No, really not. I mean, we like to confirm them on our end to make sure that it's nothing that shouldn't be promoted. Nothing. I don't know. We just want to make sure that they're visitor focused. The community and residents can benefit from those events. We just really want to try to hold a threshold, but we just don't. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know how to answer that. I guess we don't want nothing that shouldn't be on there. I guess.
But you screen those.
We
entries.
do. Yes. Yeah,
okay.
We screen all those.
Sounds good. We'll help get the word out, Casey. Appreciate you joining us here tonight. Very informative as usual. Next, we've got a possible approval for the city manager to sign a planning grant of $100,000 for a new bus facility for Ride Line. Rich Krokel, our transportation director, is here to walk us through what that grant entails. Potential new bus facility. Rich, sounds exciting.
Thank you, Mayor. It was October of 2024. I was at the city council meeting. We'd talked about applying for the planning grant for an additional bus storage facility. So we have been moving forward with that. And that would be under grant South Dakota SD-2025-016. That's for $100,000 for a new bus facility for Ride Line. That would be a 75-25 split on that. So the city would be obligated to $25,000. And we're requesting city manager to be able to sign that planning grant, and staff recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilwoman Liebelt, the second Councilman Ward. Does anyone have any questions on that grant or program or the need for bus housing?
Just one, is there a location at this time, or is this a?
It would be on the current grounds of Aberdeen Ride Line, which is 205 North 4th Street.
Sure. Okay.
Just west of the overpass. Relatively newer facility for us, but
for us, yeah.
All right. Jordan, would you give us a roll call?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Fauberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
joining us, Rich. Good to see you. As always, next possible approval of a request to waive the bicycle licensing fee for tomorrow's event, National Night Out. Jordan, you gonna run us down what that entails? This was Jordan's brainchild, so.
Thank you, Mayor. While our city ordinance no longer requires bike licenses, city staff feel they are an important tool in helping to reunite lost or stolen bikes with their owners. At our recent surplus sale, we literally sold hundreds of bikes that could have been returned to owners if they had a bike license with identifiable information. But they don't have tags, so we can't get in contact with those owners. We have only issued a handful of permits within the last few years, and I can assure you that we're not balancing the budget based on bike license revenue. Staff is requesting permission to issue up to 100 bike licenses for the public at National Night Out to help raise awareness on what a bike license is, where to obtain one, and how someday it might help you reunite with your lost or stolen bike.
Move to approve.
Second.
I've got a motion from Councilman Ward, second Councilwoman Foberg. And so there will be some sort of a kiosk or a table out there where people can roll their bicycles up to and fill out the permitting and get.
So we've prepared 100 of these certificates to hand out to kids or other members that attend the event. They're with police officers, and they'll be responsible for distributing them to people who are interested.
Sounds good. Jordan, good idea.
Excellent.
Any questions? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Get up to paying some bills around here. Next, we've got a possible approval of a pay request, $24,008.24, as well as a change order, which supplants that amount, $25,455.50 in the negative for our quadrant improvement project. I see Stu's not here today. He is taking some personal time, so we've got Dustin over there. Dustin, tell us about this cost and why the negative change order.
Yeah, so the cost is, the project's done, so the cost is to release the retainage on the project. The change order is negative just to balance out the quantities. So our last two change orders were positive. So I think we got a sheet in here that shows what a total was. So yeah, we had 124,000 additions, negative 25 in subtractions.
The project is completed for the year, as you said. Everything went all right?
Yep, we're happy with it.
Good.
Move to approve the pay request and change order.
Second.
Motion Johnson, second Nilsson. Anyone have any questions or comments on the program or these two costs? Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next possible approval, pay request number 2, $172,449.45, along with a change order of positive $119,825.30 for our street maintenance concrete repair, also to CWF Masonry. Dustin?
Yeah, so this is for our annual curb and gutter repair project. This is along our chip sealing route, and the change order is pretty big, and it did go above our, planned amount to do this project, but we're still within budget with all our concrete projects combined here.
And is that work also completed for the year?
Yep, this project's complete now. Yep.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion Ronayne. Second was David Norvstrup over there. Anyone have any questions? Our curb and gutter project. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on the payment then, please?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next possible approval, pay request number 1 for $85,769.90 for our sanitary sewer pipelining to the Municipal Pipe Tool Company of Hudson, Iowa. Dustin, you're on a roll over there. Tell us about the pipelining project that we had going.
Yeah, 3 in a row. So this is for sanitary sewer pipelining. It's kind of various spots throughout town. There's still a little bit left to do on this project, but this one's going pretty well too.
And what areas in particular had we hit up with this?
So probably the most important area we did is along 6th Avenue between Roosevelt and Harvard Street. So that actually collapsed last year, a portion of that sewer. And so we lined, it's an old asbestos line there, and I got the camera footage if anyone wants to see it. It wasn't in good shape. So that was probably the most significant one. We also got under one of Avera's tunnels. We lined some sewer there and under the railroad tracks and along Washington Street and a few other spots.
And do we have to dig up either end in those circumstances, or
No,
do they access through the manholes?
when you line it, they just access the manholes. So that's one major benefit to this is it's non-destructive. You don't need to tear into the road.
And how many total blocks did we see through this year? Approximately.
Might be easier to give you a footage.
1,100 feet.
So roughly 1,800 feet of lining total we'll end up doing.
Thank you, Destin. Sorry for all the questions. Anyone would like to make a motion on the payment to Municipal Pipe Tool Company?
Move
Mr.
to
Mayor?
approve. Or second.
Mr. Mayor, just, I had one question.
Let's get I'm sorry, I led us into the questions before we even had our motion. Did someone over here make a motion? Or Shard made a second, so.
Who else?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion, Char, second, Econoger. I was ahead of myself, a little too eager about pipelining. Talmadge, what have you got for a question for Destin?
I was just kind of curious, when we're lining these pipes, what are we lining them with? Is this a spray or is it a film or what?
So they,
I'm just curious what it means, that's all.
it's kind of a composite resin. They run it through the sewer, then they blow it up so it fits the inside of the pipe, and then they use steam and heat to cure it. And if the hose pipe completely deteriorates, it's supposed to be able to stay there for 100 years or so without the hose pipe existing at all.
So this
All right.
this is actually a fabric that this
That's what I
resin is
wondered,
put
yeah.
into. Yeah.
Okay, that's,
But it's just
That's what I
pumped
wondered.
through and then it adheres to the edge.
It's pushed through and then it's blown up so that it pushes against the edges of the pipe and then cured through steam or some kind of heat.
They got a UV one too, but they use steam for this project.
But YouTube, you should check a look. There's some interesting
well, I
videos.
suspected that's what it was, but just wanted to know. So, thank you, appreciate
I
it.
think it's definitely something we're gonna continue to pursue projects like this.
Maybe you could bring the movie next time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spice things up a little bit. You said we are going to continue to then?
Yep.
Okay. Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Nilsson,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Finally, with our new business here tonight, we've got a possible approval of a payment request, $448,334.51, along with a negative change order, $14,628.68. This is for our mill and overlay project, which we do every year, and it is to Jensen Rock and Sand out of Mobridge, but of course they've got their local office here as well. Destin, how did that project turn out?
Yeah, I'm really happy with this one. This was on Millgard Road, kind of between Central and Walmart, and it rides really nice, looks really nice. Pretty straight, simple, forward project. So, yeah, it turned out really well.
Is there a concrete base under that street?
No.
So they milled off the top, the asphalt was thick enough.
Asphalt was thick. Yeah.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion Johnson, second Ward. Any questions? Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Nilsson,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, review and approval of the list of bills this week. Take a motion to pay the bills.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Ward, second Liebelt. Jordan?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Nilsson,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Ward,
Vote in favor of all except all abstain from Aberdeen Development reimbursement.
Councilmember Liebelt,
All of them.
Foberg,
All of them.
Ronayne,
All of them.
Mayor Shoneman.
Dude, all of them. We're going with this. Every last
Yes or
bill.
no on all of them.
Right. That's right.
Motion carries. Next, we've got our city manager's report. Robin, what have we got going on? I thought you were going to be gone today since you were traveling over the weekend. I was prepared to have all kinds of information, but I'm glad you can take it up.
Okay, we've got several board meetings this week. Asking you to do a work session next week. Jordan will have a Zoom availability for that meeting as well. But is 4:30 okay for everybody, or is there a different time you would like? 4:30 is good?
4:30 is
Okay.
good.
4:30 it is, Jordan. today was the last day of the promotion fund submissions. So you will be getting a packet from us on those submissions, and you will be able to start your deliberations. Jordan, for the budget, has just plugged in the projected number, and then you'll be able to sub-allocate that here. It's not crucial to the budgeting process that we have the exact numbers for each agency. They're always chomping at the bit wanting to know, but it's not crucial for the budget portion. So, and before we get into just a brief discussion on the budget, like the chief to discuss Tuesday's activities.
Oh yeah, thank you. One more opportunity to remind everybody again, National Night Out tomorrow between 6 and 9 at Milgard Park. It's our community building event. Law enforcement and our public safety organizations and community service organizations come together. An opportunity to connect to people and really understand our community and build partnerships, and a lot of investment in that. We thank our business community for the sponsor to that, and Magic Joe will be there for the kids. Salvation Army provides a meal, and it's a good event, and we're hoping for good weather. So Mayor, if you could say some type of thing that would help us with good weather, that'd be great. So
I'll tell nobody in town, please do rain dances.
All right.
No cloud seeding.
Aside from that.
Is there a backup rain date? Or
Yeah, thanks. That's a good question. So tomorrow we'll look at that in the morning. Scott from the radio has asked me as well. So tomorrow in the morning we'll look at that, maybe connect with the weather service. In the event it looks like thunderstorms that could compromise the event, we probably do something. We'll reschedule in probably 2 weeks is what we're looking at. So thank you for the question.
All right, let's all cross our fingers. Hopefully that it goes off without a hitch. It's always a super fun night and always really, really well attended.
Lastly, before I start into the budget, I do believe that Thursday was probably the last day for applications for my position. And as I understand it, there are a number of applicants for that position. So I don't know if you wanted to mention anything, Travis.
Sure. So 36 in total. Kristen is going to be out for the beginning of the week, so I think that it would behoove us all, if possible, to make your top picks. I would say, based on the conversation that we had the other night, if we could do up to 6 selects out of the total 36, and you could email those to myself and Kristen, and then we could kind of compile the top entries from that and begin to assemble those interviews on a particular day here in the not too distant future. So if you could all work on getting me that back by mid to end of week, that would be ideal. I should be complete in the documents that she sent to each of us.
Okay, and then lastly, you have in front of you this year's draft proposal for the budget and capital improvement program. As is always the case, Marie worked her tail off to get this done, pushing Jordan and I every day, and putting up with changes even as late as Friday. So big thanks goes out to Marie. She's a rock star, and we really appreciate the effort that goes into this to make it a nice looking proposal. And the highlights of it, so on the summary sheet, we're not going to go through this document tonight. We will do that next week. This will give you an opportunity to go through some things that are key to your thought processes, things that people are asking you, and you'll have more questions for us next week. The things that I wanted to highlight for this year is that if you take a look, the 23 actual total budget was 2023 actual budget was $69 million and some change. 2024 was $100 million and some change. 2025, $136 million and some change, and this year, $178 million. So you're seeing some big growth, and the question then comes in, how is this possible? Well, we're doing a lot of capital improvements. that's one reason why you asked me to step in as city manager, is because of the experience in managing those projects. We've got a lot of stuff under contract or expected to be under contract by the end of the year and being built next year. But take a look at the general fund supported expenditures, revenues and expenditures, and you'll see a far different picture. And your government is not growing. Your government is staying relatively the same, and that I think is probably a more accurate picture of you're making improvements, but you're not letting your government grow. And so that's where, if you take a look, 23 was 46 million, 24 was 44 million, 25 was a little more last year, and this year it's back to 44 million. That's a good sign. You also take a look at your debt service capacity, and Jordan will address some of the stuff next week in how this relates to a $90 million wastewater facility. Those are eye-popping numbers. How does that affect us in debt service capacity? Some of the things that everybody's very well aware of, we've got our capital expenses that we talked about, your wastewater plant, your water tower and transmission line. We did do the bid on that, and that is a little higher than we'd like to see, and we're still working through how we can deal with those numbers. It's a couple million more than what we had anticipated. Public Works facility, that bid comes up, is that tomorrow? Or is that a week from tomorrow? I think it's a week from tomorrow. But that's coming up very soon. Next year, we do have in this budget the two-way Main Street project. For our portion of it, the DOT is prepared to do their portion. We will be having another meeting with them coming up toward the end of the month with South Dakota DOT, if I remember it. Yeah, about that. Dakota Street North, we will be reconstructing a portion of that, running up from Fairgrounds going north past Levy. As Destin had mentioned, the sanitary sewer lining and the manhole improvements, that's something that we need to do before we have ultimate collapse on a lot of these lines. Some of the collapses that we've had on those lines have been actually not knowing what type of line we had. We thought a lot of these were clay pipe, and they're actually the asbestos cement. And some of the failures are due to high hydrogen sulfide content, and I'm getting engineer nerdy here, so I'll get out of that mode here. But we want to try to keep that program going so that we're saving money in the long run. If you're not tearing up the entire street surface, you're saving money. And it's far less disruption to the public. With these lining projects, they're literally in, they clean, they line it, and they're back out in 2 days. Where if you're reconstructing, it's an all summer type proposal, and that's tough for people to live with, especially if it's near businesses.
Robin?
Yeah?
Excuse me, can I just interrupt you?
Yeah.
Earlier in the meeting, we mentioned that there was 1,800 feet that were done in this current season. Mm-hmm. This 900,000, can you estimate how many feet that might provide of lining?
That will, well, it depends on the size. Some of the stuff we want to do fairly soon is going to be as an example, underneath Northern's football practice field. And it's a 42-inch pipe. So this stuff is going to go at about, $500 a foot or something in that range. Maybe you have a better number. The number was eye-popping. We bid it 2 years ago.
It's
And
almost 24 inches and less is pretty manageable cost, and it seemed like once you're about 24 inches, it really goes up fast. So I want to say maybe like $250 or something a foot at 48, but I might be wrong. I couldn't look at what it was last time.
A big number, and fortunately, we're not doing miles of that 42-inch pipe, but we've got to get underneath this so we don't have anything happen underneath a $1 million investment for the for that football practice field. So, you know, if you're doing 1,000 feet at 250 feet, that's $250,000 right there. So, we're also going to be doing some things at the water treatment plant. The last year has been a big challenge for Jim in that we've had some valves and things fail on our filters. And so that is one of the things that he is going to work very diligently on this next year, trying to make sure that those filters are fully operational. If he has a failure of one or two of those filters, he's down to 3/4 capacity. And if our usage is high, we're pushing water that won't meet standards. And that's why we've had a couple of those notices, is because of filter failures. And it's more turbidity. It's not really a health concern, but it's cloudiness in water. It's things that are indications that we could be headed the wrong direction if we don't get it back under control. So we do want to keep investing in that plant as much as we need to in order to keep ourselves compliant. So we do have some money in there for that. Close to $1 million worth of Parks and Rec projects coming up. We also have money in there for the Moccasin Creek project, and I thought I'd see the mayor do a happy dance here, but we didn't get that.
I feel like it's we're finally making good progress on there. We'll continue. In fact, on that note, we've got a small contingency of ecological experts that have been assembled by the Kramer Center, and those guys are going to be coming down this week and meeting with some of us, and we will be talking about some practical application for continued creek improvement as we continue to dredge out the silt that doesn't belong there in the first place to improve the appearance of the shoreline and recreational.
And that is on the back side of this sheet. There are some budget priorities, and that is item G on there is the Kramer Center, that we want to continue to work with them and get some ideas on how to do some additional things along there. We've got utility rate studies coming up again. We want to make sure we're proactive on that so we don't end up with these humongous jumps each and every year. We've got to try to get ahead of it. We're going to take a big jump, as everybody's aware, and I think you're going to want to stay ahead of that this time around rather than waiting for it to get too far ahead of you. We want to make sure we're working with our community partners like Casey. It's a big deal, I think, for the city and those partnerships. Planning for future departmental needs. We want to continue to make sure that we're implementing our Condrey. That Condrey study from last year is not an investment for 1 year. That's something we're going to try to make sure. And one of the things was using an index to try to make sure that we provide the right cost of living type numbers so that study is valid for more than 1 or 2 years. So those are the types of things that we're looking at. That's what's addressed in this budget proposal. Please take a look at it. Do as much review as you need. Call Jordan or I, and we'll try to walk you through some of the particulars, and we will talk more about it next week. One thing that we did want to mention was that budget. Is it online yet, Jordan, or will it be?
By the end of the day, it will be online on the finance page.
And what was my other note? One other note that you will see once you go through some of these things. There's two things that I had as takeaways from this. We have a pretty big jump in the police department. You'll see 5 additional positions. We didn't hire 5 additional people. This is a combination of we're down some positions. Typically, he's down at least 2-3 positions rather than being fully staffed. I think you're pretty much full staffed right now. Plus, you've got a couple CSOs that we allowed hiring. Dave, you want to address that?
Yeah, I can speak to that. So over the years, you've noticed that both the fire department and I have been at shift strengths that have been at minimums. And based on the climate, the public safety climate, it's tough to recruit people to public safety jobs, but I think that's slowly getting better. And over the years, we've lost people to retirements, going to different agencies and different things. So based on the progressive, and I really appreciate the philosophy with our human resource department and city managers, when somebody announces that there's going to be a retirement, we know somebody that's leaving, it normally takes 8 to 10 months, sometimes maybe even longer for Joel to get an operator on the street. So when we lose somebody, that budget that we have, that budget that's in our yearly expenditures, we're hiring. So we're trying to make a seamless progression. So if we anticipate that we're losing somebody, we're hiring for that. The last couple of years too, when our long-term parking staff retired, we looked at those positions and we wanted to see how could we be more efficient to the community and the department in general. So when those 2 parking people who specifically helped the downtown area retired, we looked at it as an opportunity to create a community service officer. And so what we did is we expanded their job definition, and we gave them not only parking in the downtown area, but some animal control responsibility and school crossing guard and accident investigation response. So we expanded our mission, and we use those spots to make a better product for the community. So I think both our departments and public safety, if you're at a minimum shift strength or fall below that, what happens is suddenly your budget takes overtime, and that starts to compound. And then suddenly when you're hiring people back, your morale drops too. So again, I just want to give huge credit to Human Resource, the city manager, for allowing us, when we see that an opening is going to happen in the future, to be able to hire in advance for that. The other part with that community service position too is that sometimes when people graduate from technical schools like Lake Area and they want to be police officers, they're not old enough. The age of entry for a police officer is 21. So what we'd like to do with the community service spot, we'll bring them in, they'll gain some experience doing that position. Then upon 21, if it's a right fit for our department, they transition to being a police officer. That's kind of a win-win as well. So hopefully I explained that enough, and I'll take any questions if you have that. So.
Thank you, Chief.
And we did do something similar, I believe, with the fire department, where we're trying to utilize your Build Dakota scholarships and try to hire in advance of the need in some cases. And his Chief Weig's situation is very similar to what Chief McNeil's situation is, where once you lose somebody, it takes a while to get them back up to strength. So. And the other thing that I was going to bring up was, if you take a look at property taxes in general, based on the valuation, property taxes are actually less per 100,000 now than they were in 2020. So we're trying to be responsible with the way this is being done, and we're not trying to grow everything. We're just trying to do what we need to do for the public. So with that, I don't know if there are any questions or comments anybody wants to make.
I really appreciate that. It's a substantial amount of information. We'll have a productive meeting next week and get to the bottom of the nuts and the bolts of the budget. So everyone on the council, remember to send your picks for the city manager interviews in the meantime, as well as brush up on those documents for the work session next week. With that, I would take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So move it.
Motion Johnson, second Ronayne. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.